Everyone. Thank you, Richard. Guys, on either side, if you can't see the screen, can I ask you to just move either side so you can, because you won't get the full effect without seeing the screen. Can I also reassure you, this is going to be the shortest T-talk you've ever seen. In fact, that wasn't meant to happen. James, are we... Okay, fair enough. Well, technology has failed us. It's, as always the case, the more important the presentation, the more likely technology has failed. One day, maybe technology will be smart enough to fix itself, but... Gosh, this is going to have lots of connotations for the future. Okay, so if you're so smart, can you get the lights back on? Oh, so technology is changing. And as Richard said, I'm here to tell you about a new event. But just for 2 seconds, I want to give it some context and go back. 2005, Worldwide Events, I'm the chairman of, invented the one-to-one format in travel. We did the first ever. And we've been trying to improve that for many years since then. And we now do more travel events than anybody in the world. And I think, I'm not sure of this, we probably have done more travel events than anyone in the world. From all the sectors and all the niches, we're there. But we are aware that the event format needs to move forward. We moved it forward in 2005, and it hasn't moved forward a lot more since then. So, part of my job as chairman is Professor Pete. And Professor Pete is in charge of our lab. All these big-head men and women in white coats working out how the best event's going to be, what's going to be there. And so they said to me, Peter, we need more data. Okay, well, we did great things with data too. Many of you took part in the research that we came together. And I don't want to go into the detail of what happened this evening because I'm going to give you the results of that. But what I will do is tell you broadly where that research led us. What we realized is, on the buyer and supplier side, is that you were very clear. There were two sorts of events. There was a small event. This would be a small event, up to about 500 people. And there were the large event, thousands plus. Now, the small events were great for connections, for getting to know people, for building relationships, finding new business, actually. But the small events also, for both sides, maybe didn't give you quite the choice you'd like, quite the range of contacts you'd like to see. Then there was the big event. Gosh, the choice, the smorgasbord of choice. But you failed to make the connections. The big events were where you really service your old clients, and you had to do both. You have to do both. You all do both. No more do you have to do both. So, we were working away in our laboratory, and we couldn't solve this problem. How do you make all the good of the big event and all the good of the small event and put it into a new event? And my guys with the big brains and the girls with the big brains couldn't solve it. So after a week of non-stop, I sent them home, and I went home, and I sat down and just watched telly, turned on Netflix, and up came Desperate Housewives, Gossip Girl, Queer Eye for a Straight Guy. And I thought, that's not my football documentaries and war documentaries. And I thought, why has my Netflix changed? Do you know why my Netflix changed? Because my daughter had been using it for that week that I wasn't there, and Netflix had learnt what she wanted, not what I wanted. And that gave us the insight, the eureka moment. I called the team back in and I said, we have the answer. We know now how we can bring both events together. So if you're so clever, computer, tell us the headlines of what the new event will be like. Firstly, we're going to call it TFest. Now, this is obvious, but it's hard. Our business is making connections for you. That's all we do. We have serviced the travel industry in this for many years, and we have been successful. We're humble about our success, but we're ambitious. But doing this in the way that's optimized has been very tough. So what's next, computer? So a bit like Netflix, we have developed or are developing a technology to take all the data we have over all these years, your preferences, your recommendations, your meeting judgments, all that data we know, to start profiling what you really like and what you want. And we're putting that into a machine that's going to come out to give you recommendations as opposed to the raw options you have at the moment. And once you start getting recommendations, you start transforming the productivity of the event you're at. This has never been done before in travel. What's next, computer? So, this is a format. We have a party. We have a party quite a lot, actually. We meet one-to-one, and we go on an incentive. Let's boil it down to those simple things. But using technology, we can create new ways of meeting and talking. They're called circles, they're called connections. I'm not going to tell you about them now, it would take too long, but we've got people in the audience if you want to find out what's going on. So the whole event format is being shaken up to merge the big with the small using the technology. What else is there, computer? Now, I grew up in business-to-business communications. What I have learnt is business-to-business is dead. It's about H to H, human to human. That's where business gets done, and that's at the heart of what we're trying to do as a business. What else, consumer? Finally, what else came out? Location, location, location. Luxury travel is a long-haul business. You don't want to be in secondary airports with 33-hour journeys. Tokyo needs to meet LA. Helsinki needs to meet Cape Town. And you need to do it where it's easy for all of you. So you need to choose an international hub that has direct flights from all those places. Because that is a way of bringing you together easily, and your time is money. So, what does it lead to? It leads to the TFest on the Palm in Dubai in February next year. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the event of the future, TFest.